What is the state of our bass fisheries in Louisiana? How they doing? What do you think? What would you like to see as a public for things to happen in our state for bass fishing? What do you think the Wildlife and Fisheries is doing? How are they handling things? We're going to talk about all this and more today on the Blue Outdoors. All right, welcome back to the Blue Outdoors. I'm your host, Jared LeBlue. For those of you who are new, or even for someone who's a return viewer, if you haven't done this, click like, share, and subscribe. Get the news out to people. So today we're going to have a good show, I believe. I think it's going to be very interesting, especially for the bass fishing community out there. Some stuff coming up with the Wildlife and Fisheries. They're really trying to, I guess you could say, branch out and get with the public and get public feedback and see what you, as the public, want to do for bass fishing. So today, we're going to talk about this program that Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries is coming up with. It's a new bass management program, and today I just returned from the first stakeholders meeting that we had at the hatchery, Booker Fowler Hatchery. This program that they're trying to start up and get going is really driving to the public. I don't know how else to put it. They really want the public's involvement. They want to hear what the public has to say, and they comprise a group of stakeholders from all over the state, and these stakeholders represent bass fishing in many different ways. We had sports writers there, tournament organizers, guides, even pro fishermen. They had a whole gamut of people there to represent for the state, and they got with us. They formed this up, and they really are trying to push something out there to, I could say, better. Of course, they're always trying to better, the fisheries and the stuff. But this is really geared toward bass fishing, and not just one type of bass fishing. It's really like from all aspects of it, from tournament fishing to the guy that just wants to go out there and fish, to people who may want to look at trophy bass fishing, or somebody that's just a bank fisherman or a pond hopper that's really just looking just to catch a bunch of fish, or even those guys might just want to be trophy for whatever it is. If it's trophies, if it's a bunch of fish, if it's whatever it is, they're going to reach out to the public, and they're going to try to engage with the public more and get public opinion and educate the public, basically. And there's just a bunch of stuff that's going to go on with this program, and I believe it's a good thing. I'm proud to be a part of it. I appreciate all the people that put it together. I appreciate all the other stakeholders that were there today to voice their concerns, their opinions, and their willingness to be there and just help do something for bass fishing. This is, in my opinion, it's probably the best thing I've seen for bass fishing in this state. We really haven't had any organizations or anything out there that has pushed for, what do we want? What does the public want? What are the different things we can do? And then, there's the educational part of everything. What is, we talked about a lot of this today. The misinformation, the stuff that gets put out that is not right. It's not even close to being right, and they're trying to curtail that. They're trying to get out there and say, look, here's what's happening. Here's what we're doing. They're doing a lot. The Wildlife and Fisheries has always done a lot. I know a lot of people think, oh man, they're not doing anything, but they do. There's a lot of stuff. If you go to their website and dig up half of this stuff that they do, it's incredible. They do a lot of surveying. I say surveying. They do a lot of studies and stuff, and try to, you know, try to put that out to the public. But it's always a challenge. So they're looking at just all kind of ways to reach out to the public, inform the public, educate the public, and also engage with the public and get the public's, what do they want? What do you want? So that's what this is all about. Uh, this meeting was, just for all of us to meet up and talk about it and get a game plan together. And they're going to be putting out a survey. Now, this survey is almost done. It's almost made up. It basically is made up, but they might have to tweak and add a few things to it. Their end goal, that's another end goal, but they're trying to get it out by mid-November, I believe is the date. Hopefully they can get it pushed out by then. It will be pushed out through us, through the stakeholders. They'll have different avenues, different places. They're gonna put these surveys out for you guys to go out and fill out. But here's the important thing to all this. Guys, they can do all of this work. We can all get together, the stakeholders, we can put all the input, we can do everything we want to do. But if you don't engage and you don't fill out this survey, or you don't, it's going to be very hard to change things. They want to hear from you. They want to know what you want to do. This is what this is all about. This is what this is driven about. And it is for bass. So if you are a guy that loves to bass fish in whatever way that is, you need to fill the survey out, and it's going to help them comprise a plan. That's the best way I can put it. It's going to be, we're going to meet again in December to go over what they got back from the survey, kind of formulate and help formulate a plan, I guess, of action. And then I believe there's going to be another meeting with us to, see what the plan is. After we talk about it, kind of they'll group it and put it together. We'll do it, and then I think the target date or time is sometime in June of this year to actually implement the plan. And I don't know what the plan will be. The plan could be many plans. It could be all kinds of things. Who knows? But the bottom line is, they are trying to, Wildlife and Fisheries are trying to engage with the public. They're trying to get the public's, involvement and opinions, and again, a big thing of this is going to be transparency and education. I think that's the main thing that's got to happen is, we have to educate, or I should say they have to educate people. You could tell me stuff all day long and I could try to translate it to y'all, but I'm not a biologist. So, I would rather have them telling you, hey, this, and if you have a question, they can easily answer it where I might not be able to, or anybody for that matter. So many times in in our world, bass fishermen, we know it. Deer hunters, we know it. You swear they all went to school and they studied biology, and they're all biologists. You know that. Everyone watching this knows this. Every bass fisherman out there knows everything about bass. They think they know what's best. They think they know this, that, the other. Same thing that goes on with deer hunting. How many people are trying to manage land on deer because they think they know what they're doing, and I don't mean it in a mean way, but guys, it do that, but get help and be involved with the guys that actually do it day in and day out for a living, and can tell you why this is happening, or why why this lake is better than that lake, or why we can make this lake a better fishery or a trophy fishery, and why we can't on this one, and so forth and so on. There's just all kind of things out there, but you have to be involved. The public has to get involved, and that's the bottom line, and that's what they want. They want the public involved. They want the public to say, hey, this is what we want, and can we do it? And if it's something that they can do, they're gonna do everything they can to do it within their means. You know, if it's something that they can't, then there's that section of educational things that say, well, this is why we can't do it, or this is why that's not going to happen there. This it's just not something that's going to be able to take place because of just different factors, right? So that's what we're going with. That's where we're at, and they need your involvement. So please, when this survey comes out, and I'll do another video when it does come out. I'm gonna post a video. I'll have a link to it. I'll do whatever I have to do to get y'all on there. Please fill out the survey. If you see the survey on whatever social media group they're going to put it out on, or they may put it in who knows, tackle store. They're going to do different things to put this survey out for fishermen to fill out, so that we can get a good sample to go from. So it's really up to everyone out there who has a vested interest in bass, who wants to see bass fishing do what they want it to do. It's in your best interest to get involved with this. This program is being led by Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries biologist Zane LeBlanc. Super nice guy, super knowledgeable guy. At this meeting, we had several other biologists from Wildlife and Fisheries there. They were answering our questions. They were explaining the state of bass fishing in Louisiana and what's going on and what they're seeing, and just it was a really, really informative meeting today. It was really great. I'm really pumped up about this. I'm glad that the Wildlife and Fisheries is taking the steps that they're taking to get out there and do something. I'm not that they've been doing stuff, but they really wanting the public engagement. I don't know how else to say that. And it's imperative that we as bass fishermen get involved, and this is a way to do it. Make sure that you fill out this survey, and make sure you listen to what's going on. Keep checking, keep seeing where where we at in this, what's going on, how's this program working. I'm going to keep y'all up to date. And so I think there's 15 of us, or maybe a little bit more, of these stakeholders, and I'm sure they all going to be putting this stuff out. Like I said, there's some sports writers, there's some guys that do radio. There was a good group of guys there that have a vested interest in bass fishing. I mean, I don't know how else to put that, but it's very good. It's a very good group of guys. We went to the fish hatchery today. That's where our meeting was. We got a tour of that. That was really cool. Those guys over there, if y'all ever get a chance to go to that fish hatchery and take a tour and let them talk to you about what they do, it's pretty amazing, pretty interesting stuff, man. It's one of these things that it takes a lot of money, man, to run this place, and it's a lot of they're doing a lot for this state. They really are, and I'm think when the educational part of all this comes out, I think it's going to be eye-opening for a lot of people. And this is just something that needs to be done, in my opinion, across all states, not just here in Louisiana, not just everywhere. And they do have some of these programs that are already implemented. I think Arkansas has one. I think Florida has one. So it's it's not something that's new. It's so other states are doing it, but it is something that I think is very positive for bass fishing, and it's something that needs to happen. But like anything else, man, it's never gonna reach its full potential. It's never gonna do what it needs to do without your involvement. So please, guys, get involved. They're really working hard on this. They're putting a lot of time in it. And it's now it's your time. Now it's your time to shine. I don't know how else to say it. If you got something to say about bass fishing, you got questions about bass fishing, this survey is going to be out there, and you can put it's good. So just when it gets out, make sure you fill that out. Uh, you know, it's one of these things I think that that's been we've been needing to do this, and for the wildlife and fisheries to step up and say, hey, we're going to take the charge. We talked about this in this meeting about like there's so many organizations out there today that there's an organization for all kinds of things, and those organizations drive and push these things. And bass fishing really don't have in Louisiana, we really don't have a big organization that's you know standing behind bass fishing and is trying to improve. You got like the CCA. I mean that's a big thing for saltwater. I mean, we got nothing like that for bass in Louisiana. So, for the wildlife and fisheries to say, hey, look, we're going to step up and uh, we're going to engage and we're going to get just ideas and just a gamut of stuff from the people out there. It's really a good thing. I think they're doing a great job. Uh, and it's really, really, really informative and real good information when you talk to these biologists, man. It blew. I've always had good rapport with biologists. I've always talked to them and tried to learn and everything about bass fishing. And it's like every time I go into something like this and I meet with them, and it's just there's another layer that comes out, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea. And it it's an eye-opening deal. Like it really explains a lot of what's going on and why it's going on. And like I said, I'm a fisherman. I could tell you what I think, or I could tell you what I hear from them. But for me to have the background and the information to sit there, and if you pop out a question to me, I may not be able to answer it in the way they can, and that is really good. And I encourage everyone to get to always talk to your biologists and get information from them, because I mean, dude, they this is what they do. This is what they do for a living, and they add it day in and day out, and every one of those people, every one of those biologists in there are fishermen. I mean, they are bass fishermen. They go fishing, and they love the sport as much as we do. So they have a vested interest in this, without a doubt. So it's imperative that we engage and we help out with this, because I think it's going to be a very positive thing for Louisiana. Uh, that's all I got today. I just wanted to put that out there. I know I told y'all in a video before that there was something coming up, and this is what it is. We can have more information, obviously, after the survey goes out and we meet again, and we kind of got a direction of what we're going to be doing. I mean, that information I'll be glad to share with y'all. Again, this isn't any kind of hidden agenda. This isn't anything. I mean, they're trying to be very transparent. They're trying to be very engaging with the public, and I think it's a great thing. So, looking forward to it. I hope each and every one of y'all do this survey, turn it in, so we can get this going. Pass it on to your friends. Let your friends know. Share the video. When I put out the survey, send that out. Put it on your social media stuff, your Facebooks, whatever. Get other people involved in it, because it's going to take the public. It's going to take us as a collective group of bass fishermen to really, move this program along and drive it in the right direction. So until the next one, guys, y'all be safe out there. Good luck.